The mounting national debt is a tremendous threat to the future of the United States, its position in the world, our standard of living at home, and potentially our domestic tranquility.
The national debt at this point is probably the most serious challenge facing the country today.
After a terrorist potentially using a weapon of mass destruction in the United States, the biggest threat we have is our fiscal situation.
The deficit and the debt are not an immediate problem, but they absolutely are a long-run problem. If you look at the long-run budget projections coming out of the Congressional Budget Office, those are truly terrifying.
Mounting national debt is an enormous threat. It calls into credibility the full faith and credit of the United States, and that means that we are looked at almost by the rest of the world as a third world country. We can't do that.
But I think it's a threat in a much larger sense. It's a threat to the whole idea of self-government. It's a threat to the notion that free people acting freely together can discipline themselves, put the future before the present, their children's interests ahead of their own.
Well, countries decline either because they lose wars or they get buried under their own debt.
The Joint Committee needs to go big.
Policymakers need to be looking and going big.
As far as I'm concerned, we have to have a go big approach to this particular problem.
I believe that this committee ought to go big.
I think there's no substitute for a go big approach.
We absolutely do need to go big because the problems that we're facing on our deficit are big.
Failure is not an option for the Deficit Reduction Committee.
If your horse drops dead, it's pretty smart of you to get off.